Hey everyone, you are live on BROfessor and Friends. Thank
Hey,
you for
buddy.
being here. Welcome to the show. Hey, what is up, my buddy Tony?
Man, it's been too long since I've seen that intro.
Oh
That
my,
just makes my day. I love it.
my goodness, I love it. I
Yeah,
absolutely love it. I love being on here. I love talking with you. I love visiting with everybody. And
you too, buddy.
we uh, we missed last week. Duty called. I had to work way too much, and it just didn't work out. But I got a few days off. I got to do a few things.
Yeah,
COVID shut my school down, and so I got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. And my wife said, "You really need something to do. You're not going to stay around here." And my FJ was in the shop getting a re-gear,
nice.
and so anyway, I called Aaron up at Artemis, and I said, "Hey man, you got anything for me to do?" And he said, "Yeah, come on." So I completely reorganized his whole showroom up there, and
Nice.
I think he was pretty pleased. Caitlin and all the kids who work in there every day, they were like, "Man, we thought we had this place organized, and you just have some special ability." I'm like, "No, I don't. I just know where to put things. So anyway, had a good time up there, and come back, and hey, Miss Orla,
Hey,
nice,
hey.
nice of you to join us. She's one of our super fans for some
She's
reason.
pretty awesome.
She's pretty amazing.
I might be biased, but
You are biased, but that's okay. You're biased, but that's okay. But how's your week been? How was last week and your weekend been, Tony?
oh, it's been great. Yeah, just wonderful. I don't know. We our school was shut down a little bit, and I had McKenna at home, and uh, did some did some stuff around here, and caught up on some projects in the garage, cleaning up, organizing. Started a little trailer project.
A little trailer project. Now
Yeah.
this is something that we're going to discuss as part of our show here because this trailer project came as a result of what we're going to be talking about
Yes.
tonight. Our trip
Yeah.
to Big Bend, South Texas, and I do want to cover that because that is something that a lot of people will want
Yeah,
to
Connie.
um, listen to, think about, maybe ponder over.
That's
If
right.
you've never experienced the base camp part of overlanding, it's something to behold. It
It
is
is.
convenient. It's nice. It levels off the stress a little bit. People, you think that people are having to wait on you. Just all kinds of different things. So we will be talking about that a little bit. But let's see. Chad said, "Did you get that one I seen on Facebook Marketplace? I almost drove but my butt to Arkansas to get it, and then I seen you had messaged him. Is that the one you picked up?"
No, buddy. A good friend of mine, Michael, gave me an old trailer he had laying around. So I'm starting kind of from the ground up.
Yeah, it's
On
bare
a
bones now.
yeah on a
It's almost like
on a
one of them
trailer build.
trailers you haul chickens
Almost.
around on,
Yeah.
or get you a bull calf and take to the market.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rough shape. It needs some TLC. It's been sitting for a while, but I don't know.
Hello,
It's got
Jared.
some.
Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Welcome to the
buddy.
show, Jared. Well, I'm excited about your trailer. I'm
Yeah.
excited. You know, it's watching this all come about and it all being my fault. I love it. I
It
actually
is your
love
fault.
it. So, every time me and you talk, it either it makes you work more or costs you money
Yep.
for some reason.
That's fact. That does. It sure does.
Oh my goodness! But anyway, it's fun. We have a great time, and I tell you what, I don't. I've got my coffee. I got my coffee brewed over here. I did me a pour over right before the show because I am wore out.
You probably should have added
And
some
just
energy to that coffee.
I'm tired. And let me tell you, if you're one of these guys like me that you like to turn your own wrenches, you got like to put your own parts on. I know you are,
Yes,
Tony.
sir. Yes, sir. Yep.
But
When I can, I do.
it for us old fat men, it'll take it out of you now. I had been yesterday. I spent about 7 hours underneath my car, laying on my head, with my hands above my head, and I looked up at my wife and I said, "This is why I did not become a mechanic." Oh, I had heartburn all day. I was dizzy all day. Every time I stood up, I got dizzy. I had to sit back
Yep.
down.
Yep.
Putting sliders on. We got some new sliders. That was one of our Christmas presents. It didn't mean to be a Christmas present because I ordered them in March.
Yeah.
But they got here on December 23rd. So I looked at my wife and said, "Merry Christmas. You're getting sliders for Christmas." So
What could be
Eric's
better?
getting
I mean,
sliders. And
who doesn't want sliders for Christmas? I mean, that's awesome.
hey, it's perfect timing.
That's
Perfect
right.
timing. Hey, Kayla. How are
Kayla,
you? Nice to see you again. Good to see you. Sasha says, "I feel his pain on the professor costing money." Now, listen, I'm not going to take all this bashing here. I'm not going to take all this just throwing darts because it's not all my fault. It's not all my fault.
I heard Porker's got it bad.
Poker's got it bad.
Does he?
It's really bad. It is really bad, and I pray for Sasha because she needs it. Yeah. Look at your wife. I
Tell
swear.
him. She's
Now,
sassy.
she can't really say anything because I've mentioned a few things on here, and she was like, "Yep, got to have one of those. Yep, put
Yep.
that on your list. Yep, you got to
Yep.
do that for me." So, it's not
Yep.
all my fault.
That stinking air conditioner is still on the list.
Porker said, "Hell, I'll admit it's bad."
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well, it's one of these things when the bug bites. When the bug bites, it bites hard.
It does.
And there's a lot of cool things out there that'll make your life really, really safe,
Yeah.
comfortable, pleasurable, and we do it for our wives. That's why
Yeah.
we do it. All this stuff that we buy, me, you, Porker, all the guys out there, we buy it for our wives. And so, but our first names should be others because that's
Yeah.
what we're about. We're all about pleasing others.
Yep.
And we'll take the hit. We'll take the hit. And you can just blame us all you want because that's why we're here. We're here to make our wives happy. Yeah, Jared said, "Love the patch on the mic, Joey." I appreciate that, Jared. Tony has come up with his Buc-ee's patch. Tony got to go to a Buc-ee's for the
I
first
did.
time. How did that go for you, Tony?
Oh man, it was great. We left out of there, I don't know, $150 later, and like I don't know, 2 pounds of jerky and those barbecue cashews that Matt was talking about.
Yeah,
those were amazing. They didn't last
Yeah.
long either. A couple of patches, and I don't know. Hey Nathan.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time.
What's up, Nathan? The Overland photographer is in the house.
Hey, buddy.
Glad to have you all the way up in Northeast Arkansas. Oh, man. And Jared says Buc-ee's is coming to Springfield, and everybody's excited.
I'm already out of that jerky, so Buc-ee's couldn't come to Springfield fast enough.
Well, I'm excited because I go to Springfield. I don't go to Texas much. And I like going to Springfield. I'll be frequenting the Buc-ee's, I'm sure. and picking me up some of these barbecue cashews that Matt says are out of this world. So
So are all the Buc-ee's built about the same? I mean,
I don't
more,
know.
more or
Aaron
less.
told me
Like,
that it came out in the newspaper that they will have 100 gas pumps.
wow.
That's a lot.
Well, what I'm hoping for is they have that jerky buffet. I mean, there was a counter probably, I don't know, 20 feet long, and had every style and kind of jerky you could imagine in there, and
Yeah.
you get to test it all.
Yeah. Huh.
Anyway,
Well.
I hope they got one of those in Springfield.
Hmm.
Yes, they are. Well, that's good to know. We'll have to drive all the way to Dallas for some of that jerky.
Well, we may be planning a trip to the Dallas area, maybe even this weekend.
What?
I hate to admit it. I hate to admit it. The guy down at the place where Matt and Kara bought their trailer, they just got the 440s in today.
Oh no.
And he messaged me as soon as he took 3 pictures, and he said, "We got them. Do you want me to put your name on one?" And I was like, "Oh, Craig. Oh, dear heaven."
You're killing me,
So
Smalls.
anyway, we may go down there and look at them and take a gander at them and see what they've got to offer. But I was highly impressed with the 490. It's just
Oh
a little
yeah.
big. But Connie and I, we talked over dinner. Maybe we may see a Tundra in our future.
Oh boy.
Never know. Nope, won't be going to Dallas to watch the Cowboys because they pooped a brick yesterday.
That was so disappointing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Arla says road trip. Well, you might think about that because I saw. I don't know what it's going to be up where you live, but I think the high on Saturday is 26. So there really won't be any outside activities for us with a high
Yeah.
like that. But we'll see what happens. You never know what we might plan, what we might do. I'm off Friday night and all day Saturday. Have to be back to church Sunday, so never know what we might plan. But anyway,
That's right.
but the reason I'm so sore and tired is that all this stuff got delivered to my house on the 23rd, and we had Christmas the 24th, 25th, and on the 26th we left for South Texas for a week. And it sat in all this 900 pounds of steel sat in my living room for about 9 days. And I come back and I just had to look at it. I'd stumped my toe on it, and I'm like, this stuff's got to go. And so Saturday was a wash. It was rained all day, snowed in the afternoon. It was cold. It was nasty. Yeah. Sunday came, the sun came up, it got warm, all the snow melted, and I'm like, I think I can go outside and work. So I went out there, took my old sliders off, put my new sliders on. Me and Connie got out there. She was sitting in the grass with a pair of tweezers trying to fit this little nut onto this screw, and both of us were just about to lose our minds. But we got them on there, and they look super good. Expedition 1 does a fantastic, amazing job. These guys, I've seen a lot of welding in my day, and these guys, they must have machines doing it because it's all perfect. It looks so good. And then my dual swing out bumper that I have been waiting for years. And I was scared to death to try to do this. Tony and I had talked about this, about me making a trip up to your house because I needed some help. Matt and Kara came over yesterday, and I told Matt, he said, "Why is this bumper sitting in your floor?" I said, "Well, I've never taken on a job this big." And I said, it came with 2 boxes full of nuts and bolts and screws and all kinds of stuff. And I said, this is a little bit more than I think I can handle. I'm not real sure if I can do this. I'm not real sure that I'm up to this. I mean, it's funny on their instructions. They have what level of ability do you have to do this bumper, and it has 5 stars, and it has like uh, a dummy all the way to expert, and parts of it were 4 stars and parts of it were 2 stars. Today, I did the 4 star part,
Ooh.
and man, this thing's got a lot of parts. Dual swing outs. And I had a good bumper on there, and I was completely happy with my bumper, but I had to get some weight off my back door.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's going to be one of these trips to South Texas. I was probably going to leave my back door down there.
Yeah.
Because every time I opened it, man, I was like cradle it like a little newborn baby, and I was like, I got to get some weight off here. So this bumper will take my spare tire and wheel. It'll take my rack and everything that goes on my rack off my back door. So you're talking, it's going to take 100 pounds off my back door.
Easy.
So I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to work out perfect, and it's very, very exciting. But I can promise you this, and those out there who have an Expedition 1 bumper laying in your living room right now, listen to me. I know there's a bunch of you. It takes more than one day. You can't do it in one day. I promise. Woo, I got to have a drink, Tony.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm excited because I got the bumper on, and I got both swing outs on. And so now I don't have anything to latch them with, so if I drive down the road, they're just going to flop. So can't go anywhere yet. But on top of that,
that's me.
On top of that, is that somebody sending you a fax, Tony?
No, I think somebody is using the printer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody's using the printer while I'm on the show.
Hey, look at there, Tony. Nathan said the schedule on your wall is looking good. I guess he can read it. We had that talk. We didn't know if anybody could read it, so I guess you can read it.
Yep. We're trying to be educational and helpful, and hopefully that's up there and everybody can read it.
Josh, I appreciate you.
Hey, Josh.
For being here.
Yeah.
Travis, thank you for being here.
Hey, Travis.
Late, it doesn't matter. We're going
doesn't matter, buddy.
But I got the bumper on, got the things on, the 2 swing outs. I'm so excited. This is going to be amazing. So, the tired, the sore, all the cuts and scrapes, the black that I probably won't be able to get off my hands for weeks. It's going to be worth it. I promise. It's going to be worth it. So, and your trailer's looking good. You've got you cleaned out your garage. You've got it all tore apart. So, you ordered some stuff for it today?
Yeah. So one of the things that I still had to do is kind of organize and clean. When we get back from a trip, we try to, clean things and put them up, and just get things prepped and ready to go for the next trip, so we can just grab them and pack the rig or whatever we're taking and go. So I had to do that, but kind of started taking the trailer apart a little bit. I was planning on reusing the axle that came with it, but I when I kind of realized it needed a little bit more love than I was prepared for, so I just went ahead and ordered a new axle and suspension for it, and some wheels and tires today, and I got to get my steel order ready and get that ordered. And
so what's your now this is just what is it, a 5x8, 6x8?
Yeah, it's just a 5x8 utility trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna convert it and put a rack and a frame on it, and get some of those under bed truck boxes that you told me about. Get some of those mounted, and I've already got a water heater and stuff like that for it, so I'll get a pump and tank and have onboard water storage for it and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool.
So
Well, that's that'll be a very interesting for us to follow because a lot of people are into the built not bought category. They like to save
yeah,
some money, so you can find a 6x8 utility trailer all over the place. They're loaded. It's not like you're looking for a custom overlanding trailer out there. So you turning this ordinary piece of equipment into an overlanding piece of equipment, that's going to be very interesting, and I'll be
yeah,
excited to visit
yeah.
with you.
I'll share some pictures along as I go, and we'll kind of keep you all up to date on that journey.
Yeah. So this decision that you have made to build this trailer or to go the trailer route came as a result of our trip to Big Bend. So
100%.
tell
Yep.
tell us how that evolved.
Well, so all week we were camped with you guys, and you had your trailer there, and you had your base camp set up, and we made the decision to take two vehicles because we wanted to get some experience for Arla. She's got that trip coming up, the women's trip in June,
Hmm.
and we have two tents, a tent on her Jeep too. So, um, but it really kind of cemented the you know how nice it is to have a base camp where you can just get up and get ready and go and not have to tear down. So, that style of camping, having that ability in our you know
Hmm.
equipment setup, I guess, is going to be big. So, seeing the benefits firsthand that you and Connie had during that week was great. And we
Hmm.
kind of felt like you guys were waiting on us to break camp, a few times. So anyway,
Well, and that was not the case. I can promise you that because if there's one thing that I love to do, it's piddle around camp, and I could do
yeah,
that all day. I could do that all day. But I could tell it was stressing you. In fact, it stressed you so much, or the amount of work that you had to do to pack up both vehicles was so much that you ended up changing your whole plan for the week.
yeah, we did.
So the first day that we were there, we went into the park and got our feet wet on some of the off road, and you packed up both of your vehicles
Yeah,
because Arlen McKenna were staying in her tent, and you had all your tent to yourself.
yeah,
And I remember you telling me how much you enjoyed that. Um, so you could stretch out, do whatever, fart and snore. I mean, you just do whatever you want because you were by yourself. But the rest of the week, you just decided, screw this. We're just going to pack up one and just take one. So it ended up changing your plans, and I hate that for you, but you were able to see how much having a trailer base camping in a situation like this. A lot of times we go where we do move around every day,
yeah,
or we go and we've got a route that we're taking, and that's actually how your original plan on your trip was actually going to be.
right.
And that's how when y'all originally planned to take two vehicles, y'all were going to pack up and move every day. And but when we went together and decided to stay in one place, that was a whole different way of doing things, and that's why we took the trailer.
Yeah,
So it takes away. We were down there 6 days. You're packing up and opening a tent 6 times, where we did ours once,
right.
and that makes a huge difference on time, stress level, situating all your gear and everything like that. So,
Yeah,
so yeah, that's the same exact thing that we had dealt with in the past, and that was what cemented our decision to build a trailer as
yeah,
well several
yeah,
years ago. So, I'm glad that we were able to affect you in a great way. So we'll get to see this trailer build. I'm excited.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
It'll be
excited.
fun.
So.
Yep,
Uh,
we didn't have an agenda, that's for sure. But we just anyway.
we didn't. We didn't. Travis says definitely see the options a trailer gives you. My first trip to Colorado. was with a guy who had a trailer, and I had to set up and take down every day. And I had an iCamper, so it really didn't take me that long.
Yeah.
It was really easy up and down, but just the tent itself is not all that you have to put up and take down, because if you're cooking with a stove and it's on your tailgate like yours, you have to pack it up, put it up.
Yeah.
Where I set mine up, one time and we were done. And so all that stuff, if your bedding can stay in your tent, if it can't, you have to take all that out. Um, and so it was, something to think about. And I
Yeah.
could tell that you were thinking about it and thinking, man, it sure would be nice not to have to pack this stuff every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
For
and it
sure.
was warm by the time that we would get up and eat breakfast and leave around 10 or 11 o'clock. South Texas in December, it's warm. I mean, we were
Yeah.
t-shirts and shorts every day, and still a lot of times we were breaking a sweat,
Yeah.
um, setting up, taking down. Um, Chaz says weight on a vehicle. That's definitely,
That's
you
right,
have to
Chad.
think about that, how heavy it is. That's the reason that Connie and I can't buy the 490, because our vehicles won't pull it. Travis says my only issue would be the added gas with pulling a trailer. That, um, let's see. Okay, we can compare my vehicle to Arla's vehicle going down there, because ours are similar. I can't compare it to your Gladiator, because that's like something from the future. Um, if you can sit in your living room and start your vehicle, I'm not even talking to you. So, Arla, what was Arla's gas mileage, normal gas mileage going down
uh, let's see. I guess she was averaging for the whole trip, probably between 13 and 14.
there? Okay.
I think it was a little bit better at sometimes, just depending on
She says
where we were at.
14.7.
14 points. Okay.
That was for the whole trip. That wasn't, the 250 miles that we had a 40-mile-an-hour wind in our face.
Yeah.
But we did pretty much the whole trip together and back, minus a couple hundred miles, but it was the same type of terrain, y'all going and coming. So
Yeah.
the difference in the added gas prices, to me, I normally get about 17 in my vehicle. I was getting 13. So 4 miles a gallon. It is a little more costly. To me, it cost me about 40 miles, I guess, on a tank. So having to stop that much, it probably cost me about $75 to pull my trailer down there on
Yeah.
what it would have saved me if I hadn't. Now,
Yeah.
to me, that was worth it. Just being able to set everything up once and leave it, I'd pay $75 to do that.
Yeah.
I guess it's what you're willing for comfort.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't pay that much attention to the gas in our Jeeps these days, because what I used to drive was a Ford Super Duty with a V10 gas engine. And, around town here, just driving it, here into town and back, I was getting between 10 and 11 miles per gallon on the average.
Mhm.
And, our fifth wheel, we took down to Disney World in Florida, down to Orlando. And I averaged pulling that trailer down there, I averaged 6.7 miles per gallon.
Phew, goodness.
So I don't, I just, I'm just thankful I'm not having that average these days.
Well, and to Travis, he says that's not as bad as you would have thought. You have to see and figure in what kind of trailer that you have and all the gear that you're carrying with it. So we try not to carry anything that we wouldn't normally carry. Um, now, um, we do have the weight of the trailer, but the stuff that we carry in the trailer is stuff that we would normally carry in the vehicle. And so we're not carrying that much more weight. We are pulling something, but and it does have a tent. It does have the biggest awning in the friggin' world on it. But Ours is not a big, heavy trailer. It's just an open home built trailer that's real small. Ours is not even as big as what Tony's is. Ours is a 4 by 3 by 5 inside. So it had a few cases in there. It had the annex in there that we didn't use. It had the walls for the awning that we never used. So we did carry some stuff that we didn't use. We carry some stuff um, on, just in case, but
Yeah.
we didn't get it. But we had it in case we need it. And Josh says yes, that's the price of convenience.
And because we were going to be base camping for a week, we did carry, a little bit more water than, things like that than we normally would, just because we didn't know, if how hard it was going to be to refill.
True. And that's that's
Cheers.
really what I want to get into for the rest of the show. We can do the trailer thing some more on another time, but I did want to discuss that because the trailer did come as a result of that trip.
Yeah.
Seeing the base camp thing. Now, if you went with the other guys, and they did camp with us for a few nights, but they did move around a lot. They camped in the park one night, and then they came back, and so they moved around quite a bit. And one of those guys had a trailer, but it
Yeah.
really didn't. It really didn't, you know, benefit him as much as it did us because they were moving around.
Right.
But I wanted to talk about the area that we stayed because if you're thinking about going to Big Bend, it's really hard to find a lot of information about where to stay and the area that you want to stay. Now we went into this kind of blind. I had tried to get us a place in the park, and they were all booked, and so I really almost canceled the trip until I found this place called Hip Camp.
Yeah.
And when we found Hip Camp, I I got to looking, and a lot of these private landowners host their land, and you can stay on their land privately. Now we had never seen this. We'd never met the guy. I talked to Rob several times, texted back and forth. He was always very good about doing that. Um, and first of all, when he texted me back, that thought me, hey, that that made me think, hey, he's got cell service. So I thought there's a star.
Right.
But it was going to be a place where we had never been before. Really didn't know where we were. Didn't know the area. I'd seen it on a map, but I'd never been there. And I'm a visual learner, so I really didn't know what was going on in the area. But we stayed in a place called Coyote Crossing, which is on Hip Camp. Rob was super nice. He had bathrooms. He gave us everything that we needed, and was super nice guy. Has a great story, and I really enjoyed the area that it was in. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, the views right there. We had a couple of mountain ranges in different directions. Yeah, it was close to kind of a little community there where you could split off and go to Terlingua, or you could go into the park and back up to where we were at. It was kind of a so I mean, location was really good, scenery was really good. I mean, the weather was really good. So
It was, and I was very I felt very good about leaving our stuff there because it
that
was private land and he was always around.
yeah,
So I
that was
didn't,
one thing I was
there
going
was
to
a couple
mention. Yeah,
times where you actually left your EcoFlow outside to charge, as did I. I left my
yeah,
Jackeries outside to charge and never thought anything about it
no,
because it was Rob was always there. So that is one benefit that you have of staying on private property that you don't have staying inside the park.
yeah.
I
I
love
don't
the
know. I would
area.
have had a hard time leaving the EcoFlow out, charging like that if I was out in just the national forest someplace. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
that would have been a little harder to do.
Yeah, I love the area. We were 2 miles from Study Butte,
Yeah,
and like Tony said, it was a great area that was kind of a crossroads.
yeah,
You go straight on the highway. We were on. You remember the highway that we were on? 1776.
Oh, yeah, the Farm to Market Road, 1776
Yeah.
going down.
So
Yeah,
you go straight to go into the park. You take a right to go to Terlingua and down there to the state park. So I had a lot of good options. Had a fuel store there. We discovered a hardware store there that was a lifesaver to us. It was
yeah.
hardware, lots of groceries, and you could also get water for 5 cents a gallon, or was it 10 cents a gallon?
I think it was 10 cents. I think we
Ten
got
cents a gallon.
19 gallons that day for $1.90 or something.
Yeah, 19
Crazy
gallons for
cheap.
$2.
Yeah,
So
crazy cheap. Yeah,
it was really nice. So that was one of the things that we worried about. We actually got water early and drug it down there when we didn't have to, and that would have saved us a lot of weight. So
yeah.
if we do go back down there again, then we will. Um, oh, Rob is on. Home sweet
Rob.
home. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
We're talking about you, Rob. Hope your ears are burning. Yeah, Connie said, thank you, Rob, for having a great camp. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it. But Rob's wife actually works at the hardware store, and that's why he told us. We asked him, "Do you have water?" And he said, "No, you have to get down there at the store. It's 10 cents a
Yeah.
gallon." I was like, "Man, that's awesome. I mean, who won't pay
Right.
10 cents a gallon for water?"
Right.
And so we were able to go down there and refill our jugs several times, and it was really nice. So I love the area, the Study Butte. There's many places or options that you have. We saw some really nice yurts, some teepees, some A-frame thingamabobs. I don't know what they were. They were real small and they were A-frame, and the top of them were clear. I
Yeah.
thought those were really cool. I'd love to see
Yeah.
inside of one of those. There's a lot of different chalets, chateaus. Didn't see a Hotel One, but there's
Now,
a whole bunch of different places you can stay. But
you know what else we didn't see that week? That whole week? A Walmart.
no, no, no.
There's no Walmarts. There's no hospitals. There was
Hospital is
was
80 miles.
80 miles. Yeah.
80
So
miles. Yeah. They do have EMS there, so they can come and get you, but it will be a long ride
yeah,
to the hospital.
no Walmart. Yeah.
No Walmarts. But I love the area. I love that Study Butte area because even if there wasn't a Walmart there, there was a place where we could go and pick up things that we need. The last day that we were there, the Friday, apparently I'd got some bad gas and my vehicle died on me. And so we jumped in the Gladiator, ran up to the hardware store, and got me some stuff to put in my gas, and it worked. And so I was very excited about that. You know, it's something that I don't usually carry with me, and so they had all that, and so you could get anything from fresh vegetables to motor oil to water to frozen ice cream. And I had it all.
Yeah.
And also in that area was an RV park where you could get a shower. I was extremely excited about the shower. It was extremely hot, good water pressure, and $5 was well worth the wait.
That's right.
I would pay that any day to get a good shower.
It's easy. It's BJ's RV Park or RV Resort. You go right up there and you pull up to the building. They have the showers in, and you can cash app the lady the money. You go right in and you take your shower and you go on about your day.
So easy.
So easy. Well worth the $5.
They had taken a single wide trailer and I think they put 3 showers in there. It was 3 full bathrooms, so you can go in there use the bathroom.
They had laundromat in there too, didn't they?
Had laundry in there as well.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we did not know that we know now. And so we did one day get out our showers and all take good showers, and it was amazing. But taking it all out, putting it all up, having to deal with the water, go buy more water, refill everything, and worry about that. It was really worth the $5 to me.
Yeah.
I think that was a great find
Yeah.
for us to find that. Also in
Uh,
the area, about 8 miles down the road, was Terlingua.
Yep.
Terlingua is a place that you definitely want to put on your list if you go down in that area. I didn't know about the Starlight Theater
Yeah.
as you did. So apparently you had watched Dome Life and you
Yep.
had
Yep. Yep.
saw them go there. So
Yeah.
what
They
attracted
had.
you to go there?
Well, I mean, it was Dome Life. I didn't know that place existed until I watched their video. I don't know, I guess months ago, and then I went back and rewatched it. Um, but they had some crazy good food there, and
It's
uh,
different food as well. They have
yeah,
quail.
the quail I thought was wild. I mean, like
I'm sure it was
nobody has
wild.
quail. Well, no, I mean not like wild game. I mean it like it's just nobody. You don't go to places that's. I mean,
That's different. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, and
I
just
had the
two
brisket.
things.
It was
Yeah,
good. I think
yeah,
Tony also had the
I
brisket. And the
did.
reason I ordered the brisket was because it came with green chili mac and cheese.
Yeah,
And I am a connoisseur of fine mac and cheese, and I will eat
yeah,
it everywhere we go.
yeah,
And that's the reason I ordered it. It was amazing.
yeah. It was pretty good. I don't know. Yeah, it was good.
I would
Good
highly
company too.
recommend getting there early.
Yes.
We were
Yeah.
there. We were there at the store. The Starlight Theater is attached to a store, so we walked around the store about 3:30, and we were going to stay there and eat. And then some. You said, well, they don't open till 5, and so you said, well, let's go down to Lajitas and see the goat mayor.
Yeah.
And so we went down there, and we got back after seeing the goat mayor at 4:30, and the line was forever long. And this was the line to get on the waiting list. It was
Yeah.
not the line to get in the door.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend. When we were there at 3:30, there was nobody in line.
Yeah.
Nobody, not one person. And so I would highly recommend getting there about 4, 3:30 or 4, get in line. And we waited, like Connie said, 3 hours
Yeah.
just to get inside. There's a
Yeah.
beautiful view, so you have plenty of things to do. Actually ran into a guy that I went outside to check my fridge and make sure all my stuff was still getting cooled down. And there was a guy out there taking pictures. And he asked me if he could take a picture of my rig. And I said, sure, that'd be great. And he actually sent me the pictures, what I thought was cool. But I
Yeah.
also met another guy who he came up and said, hey, man, I love your FJ, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, have you been up the highway? I said, well, we went to Lajitas. And he said, is that how far you went? And I said, yeah, we just turned around, came back. He said, you've got to keep going. You've got to keep
Yeah.
going. He said, for about another 20 miles, you'll climb this big hill, and there's this lookout at the top of the hill. You've got to go there. It's the most beautiful drive down here. He was right.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
right.
I've still got to put my video together on this trip, but I've got some great drone footage of that. If you guys go to Instagram, go to my Instagram, you can see one of my reels. Joey's doing the bro pose at the edge, the literal edge of that, canyon or whatever, and it's just an amazing view. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it was nice. And the drive there, once you get past Lajitas, you get into the state park, and
Mm-hmm.
it followed the Rio Grande the whole time. The mountains got bigger, and they kept getting bigger, and they kept getting bigger, and they kept getting bigger. And when we climbed this big giant hill, and right at the top of it, we went past some teepees, which was a place where Connie fell and hurt herself and all this other stuff. We had to call EMS and helicopters and all this other stuff. Yeah, it has a scratch on her. So I think it's a scratch on her finger. But we get to the top, and there was a sorry, babe. You know it. But she said I still have bruises. And she does still have bruises. And she
Oh no.
fell like she was making fun of me, so she kind of deserved it. But she just fell down on a rock and blah blah blah, hurt herself. She falls every day, so it's no big deal. But at the top of this hill, mountain or whatever it was, you're overlooking. It's probably, I'm guessing, about 7 or 8 stories. What do you think? About 80 feet.
Yeah.
Down to the Rio Grande. Some people were actually paddling down the river,
Yeah.
and which was, I thought, was so cool because we could watch them. But you can look back down the Rio Grande and see, oh, it's just beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. So I highly recommend going past Lajitas and making that drive. It's all highway. There's no back roads. So if you're in your little Prius or whatever, you can make it. But backing up to, yeah, get you in a canoe next time. I hope you do.
Yeah, Rob.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
and our daughter actually went with Aaron. Those people you were talking about that we saw in the canoes.
Yeah.
That was with the group that, Aaron and his wife and kids and McKenna went.
Yeah.
So when we were sitting there, they were coming along canoeing.
Yeah.
We were there at the same
there
time.
is
Anyway.
there is a place in Study Butte where you can actually get a guided tour.
Yeah.
Aaron said it was about 4 hours for the tour, about an hour and a half on the water, because it takes a while to get to where you put in and take out. But it's about $80 a person, and they actually got to float down the Rio Grande, and he said that was one of the coolest experiences he had while they were down there. And McKenna got to go.
Yeah, she absolutely loved it.
So
she enjoys telling people about canoeing the Rio Grande.
I would love to take our kayaks when we go next time and do some of that. I think that would be super fun.
I'm going to try to work in some kayak storage on my trailer too.
Oh, Tony.
Yeah. We'll see. See if we can make it work. It's getting bigger with every idea.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but my trailer is now a 20 by 30.
Yeah.
And has 3 tents.
And I had to trade it off for a Super Duty with a V10 in it.
Oh, it won't be 21 miles a gallon in the Gladiator pulling that thing, Tony.
No.
Anyway, but that was great. But another thing that you knew about that I was totally oblivious to, that you and I heard Arla talking about this right when we got down there, was the goat mayor. And I had no idea. I hadn't done my homework. You got
Office
the shirt
of the Mayor.
on.
Yeah.
You got the shirt on. So tell us about this goat mayor that people need to put on their list.
Clay Henry III. He is the elected official. The people of Lajitas voted this goat mayor. He's a 3rd or 4th generation, but he's out there every day at the general store in Lajitas, and you can drive right up and pet him, and you can go inside the general store and buy him a beer or a wine cooler. Yeah. He loves the Calypso Berry Blue wine coolers, if you are curious.
Oh, man.
So,
that's so funny. Well, when y'all first started talking about this, I thought there's some dude down there that looks like a goat, and that is mayor of this town that she wants to go meet him. And I thought, that's just weird to me. I just don't understand. But even weirder than that is having an actual live goat.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a goat.
Yeah.
Beer-bellied goat. That
for sure.
is known as the beer-drinking goat mayor of Lajitas.
But you got to get there early, because he quits drinking.
He'll get drunk.
He quits drinking after a while.
We walked up there, and he's got one of the nicest cages of any animal I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
He was in there with his nice little goat lady, and they were just wandering around, living like kings in there. And there's a trash can to the right, and it was just full of beer bottles.
Yeah.
I mean, full of beer bottles. And I thought, it's I don't know if this guy's going to have a siesta or have a, it's 5 o'clock somewhere type of deal.
Right.
But Annabelle is his wife. I'm sorry, Arla. I didn't know that. Rob says it's border life.
It's border life, brother.
But we went into the store and you asked him what he liked the most, and it ended up being one of the fruity drinks. And
Yep.
we bought us a few T-shirts and some Dr. Peppers and stuff, and went back out there and old Clay Henry was more than excited to drink the fruity beer. I
Yeah.
mean, he downed it.
Yeah.
He downed it, and we took some videos and pictures of him and hung out with him for a minute. And we were backing out, and these guys pulled up as we were backing out, and I looked, and this guy grabbed some Coronas or something out of his tailgate, and went up there, and Clay Henry, he didn't want to have nothing to do with those.
No.
He wasn't all about that. He
No.
wanted the free stuff.
You bring me my
He was
wine
ready for
coolers.
a nap when we left.
Yeah. I think
But
I
put
got
that on your
in.
list.
I think I got in on the tail end of his drinking escapades that day.
Yeah, probably so.
He was about
Yeah,
that.
I don't think his life expectancy is very long. Probably why he's like the fourth or fifth generation
Right.
Goldberg.
Right.
But inside the store, they actually had the ballot box where people have voted.
That's right. Yeah.
That was neat. I thought
Yeah.
that was
That's
neat.
cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. But that was a really cool area. I love the area, and I believe if we go back again, which I think we will,
Yes.
we'll probably stay in the same area because it worked out perfect for us. The only thing that I did not like, which you're going to have that anywhere, was the wind.
Yeah.
The wind was just absolutely out of this world for 2 nights that we were there.
So I think the wind was probably the biggest reason why we chose to go in town and get a shower. Just
Yeah.
because you're fighting your shower structure, trying to get your shower done and all of that. But
Yeah, Arla was throwing a fit. I mean, she was throwing a fit over there because she was having to wash and keep that shower tent off of her and wash and I mean that was coming in on her because the wind was blowing, and I mean she was just having a moment.
That's right.
Anyway,
she's ready to
ours was
wrestle when
doing
she
the
come out
same
of there.
thing. It was blowing like crazy.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it worked out good for us.
Yeah.
Now what about inside the park? Now the first day we went inside the park, and it was the 26th, right?
So we
27th. Because we left on the 26th and got there on the 27th.
Right, that's
28.
right. That's
Okay.
28. We got there Monday afternoon. We went in the park on Tuesday.
28th.
Yeah.
So this was the 28th. We were trying to get into the park about 11 o'clock. We had driven 1,000 miles in 2 days, and we slept late, had a breakfast, got around, didn't really have an agenda, which is kind of the way that I like to roll. Yeah. And went into the park. Traffic was backed up. I'm going to say it probably took us 45 minutes at least to get up to the gate where we could purchase our pass. Remind me again how much it was per vehicle. Was it $30 per vehicle?
It was $30 per vehicle for all week.
That was for 7 days.
Yeah.
And so they gave you a receipt for you to tape. They already had the tape on it and everything. They just wanted you to tape it to your windshield. So next time you came in, you just drove through.
Right.
$30 per vehicle. That was good for 7 days. Now, as soon as we got in, there's a little bathroom to the right. We stopped there real quick, used the restroom, and then we, right off the bat, first thing, did our off-road. And you had researched this road and told us this is the way we need to go.
Yeah. And actually, I think Chad Morris had told me he was heading down that trail that day too. So I thought maybe we'd just go ahead and head down that way and see if we run into them. But they were so far ahead of us that we never saw them that day. But yeah, we saw the Santalina Overlook. I think that's what it's called, Santalina. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah, we had to air down.
Yeah, it was pretty washboardy. Now there is a sign up there that says 4-wheel drive vehicles only. But there was a Honda Civic and some other ones that did not care about the sign. They just took off. Now, from the parts that we went down, it was not a Jeep road.
No.
So it was pretty much just a non-maintained road.
A couple of dry river beds to cross.
That's pretty much it. But in the rainy season, where they say it gets washouts and you have to do water crossings, I imagine it would get pretty hairy.
Right.
But if you go there anytime, it is just fine. No big deal. We actually went off the main road and went exploring. We wanted to see what a couple of the campsites looked like. Went down and did an unexpected hike because we heard some water.
Yeah.
And I went down to a little riverbed down through there and saw some bear tracks and all this other stuff. So it was pretty neat. Get to explore down through there. But
I think that was just one of those little creeks that runs into the Rio Grande right down there. Yeah.
Yeah. But down there at the Overlook, it was not what I expected. It was a place that did not look even real. It looked like you were on some other planet.
Yeah.
It was like the giant wall to keep the White Walkers out. I mean, it was just unbelievable. About 9 or 10 stories tall, and looks like just chopped off.
Yeah. Sheer
it was
rock
just
wall.
Straight up.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Beautiful. There's a slot canyon right there that you can hike up in. I think Matt and Kara hiked up in it. When we were down there were so many people there, they wouldn't even let us in the parking lot.
So they were waving us on.
Like,
can't come in.
Go on, you can't come in here.
And whenever I paid to get in, the guy told us that particular day was the biggest day they had all year.
All year.
The 28th of December.
Yeah.
364 other days of the year that we didn't go. We chose to go on the busiest day.
Yeah, I've been to Disney World on the busiest day of the year, and I've been to South Texas on the busiest day. I can promise you that South Texas is much better.
Yeah, that's true.
And even when we were on the regular highways just driving, there wasn't that much traffic.
Mm-hmm.
When we were off road, there wasn't hardly any traffic.
Right.
But if you stop at a visitor center, or if you stop at an overlook or something, that's where you saw the crowds.
Yeah.
And so right around the corner there was a visitor center. They call it a visitor center. It was like a bathroom and on this side of a hill. There wasn't really much to it. But I was able to get my stamp there.
Yeah.
From a national park, and then that drive from that overlook to where we came to the main highway again, that drive was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Very, very scenic, very wide open. It was just beautiful. And also down there at the bottom is where Matt and Kara stayed at that, I can't remember the name of the campground.
Oh, I'll pull it up here. Hang on.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's down there on one of the side creeks that where they stayed. But we went up, and then we went down to Panther Junction. Got there right before they closed. They close at 5:00, and so you definitely got to get there before 5:00. That it's the nice, has everything that you could possibly want. National Park type visitor center.
Cottonwood. They stayed at Cottonwood Campground.
Yeah, Cottonwood Campground, which is an established campground. And here's a little tidbit of information for you on Cottonwood. If you go on there and look 6 months from now, it says all the sites are booked. They release the sites 2 weeks in advance. So you have to, the date that you want to get there, they release the sites 2 weeks in advance. Rob says this place is hard and it takes lots of gear, but it's so worth it. And I agree. I totally agree. This place, and I've been Utah, I've been to Colorado, I've been to New Mexico, I've been out east all the way to West Virginia, been north to New York, been north to North Dakota, South Dakota. This place was not like anywhere I had ever been.
Yeah.
The range of things that you saw, they had some buttes like you would only see in Utah. They had mountain ranges and rock formations that you wouldn't see anywhere else.
Yeah.
It was really diverse, very beautiful, and it was really nice. Now
That
we did
scenic
go down. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that scenic drive that you mentioned from Cottonwood on back up to the main drive is called Ross Maxwell Scenic Drive.
Ross Maxwell Scenic Drive. That's right.
Yeah,
I remember
very
seeing it on
awesome.
that.
Very awesome.
Here's another little tidbit of information that you want to keep in mind on your Gaia Maps, however you pronounce it. It does have a national park overlay
Nash-
that you can go in there, and it will follow you so you know exactly where you are. I would highly
Nash-
recommend doing it.
yes, highly. It's called the NPS Visitor Layer.
NPS
National
Visitor
Parks.
Layer. It's
Yep.
not just for this; it's for all the national parks in
Yep.
the nation. So
Yep.
download that anytime you're around a national park. You can set that as your main layer, and it will put that on top of everything, and that way you can see where you're at in the park. And if you have that area downloaded, even when you don't have service, you could still see where you're going. So
That's right.
it works very well. We also went down to the Boquillas Overlook. Now, this park is huge. I think, let's see, Travis said he's going to stay at Terlingua Ranch. Travis, that was one of the places that we had looked at staying as well. It's a good 15, 20 miles back up the highway. Um, so you're going to be a long ways from everything. Just
Yeah.
so you know, it was about 15 or 20 miles back towards when you're coming into South Texas. It was right there, and then we went about another 15 or 20 miles to where we stayed in Study Butte. So you're going to be quite a ways from everything. And one of the thing about this park is it's so massive. You will drive a lot of miles while you're there because it takes a lot of miles to get to anything. So in the entrance to the park, down to the Boquillas Overlook, I'm thinking it was 28 miles, somewhere around 28 or 30 miles to get to the Boquillas Overlook. And Boquillas is a little town in Mexico. There is a port of entry there. You do have to have a passport to get in. They have a restaurant and they have a place where you could stay. I don't know if it's a hotel or if it's a hostel or something like that, but they do have a place where you could stay, and so it's
So from where you pay to get in, it's 41 miles.
41 miles, so it's even
Yeah.
further than what I thought.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a good 80 mile day if you go down to Boquillas.
Yeah.
Now go early. They have a little boat that takes you across, and then you can ride a donkey into the town. This town is over 200 miles from any other city in Mexico, which is really neat. They have a really good relationship with the United States because they depend on tourists to come in there and spend money. They
Yeah.
also have a Facebook page where you can actually order food, and we didn't know this either. Where you can actually order food from the restaurant, and they will bring it over onto the American side if you don't have a passport, so you can eat their food from the restaurant. And when we got to the Overlook, there were some people there with a to-go box eating tamales, and I'm like, "What in the world?"
What?
Yeah. And so anyway, all this new information that we've got. Um, let's see. You do way more than that with Grand Tetons and Yellowstone. That's true. Um, those parks are just humongous, so you've got to plan on driving a lot. Another tidbit of information is at down by Boquillas and also at the Panther Junction store. There are gas stations in the park, and
Yep.
they're not gouging you on prices either. They were the same price in park as they were outside the park. So that's a good tidbit of information to know. That was one thing that you also get free water at Panther Junction and at the Boquillas ranger stations. So something that you need to know.
Travis mentioned he was staying at what was it, the
Terlingua Ranch.
Terlingua Ranch. My understanding is, I don't know if you've researched this, but there's an area is called the Christmas Mountains Ranch, and it's just outside of the park, off to the east, kind of northeast of where we were staying. And apparently there's a really nice trail
Mm-hmm.
through the Christmas Mountains range there. And the only way you can access it is from
The Terlingua Ranch.
Terlingua Ranch, and I
Yeah.
guess they
And
kind of
they actually
organize.
give guided tours up there, and
Yeah,
you have to
yeah,
go with them to go
yeah,
up there. I did see that.
yeah, yeah.
Rob wants to know if we did the hot springs.
Sort
After
of.
we left the Volquillas Overlook, we went to the hot springs. I actually didn't get in the hot springs, but we walked down there, and some of our friends got in there. But
It was hot that
that was
day.
a neat little hike.
Yeah,
Um, it was warm that day. Ooh, it was
yeah,
warm.
yeah.
It's very crowded down there. They only let 20 vehicles in. Once they get to 20 vehicles, they only let one in, one out. And so there may be a little bit of a wait. When we came out, I think there were about 15 vehicles waiting to get down in there.
Yeah.
So it was pretty packed. So you have to figure that in. And it is about a quarter mile walk from the parking lot to the springs. So it is a pretty good walk from to get down there to it. And some people were parking and at the waiting area and then walking down there, which that would have made it over a mile at least.
Yeah.
And you're walking down the road, and I would not recommend that. Just wait, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat. On your way down there and on the way back, they have places where they have made artwork, and they have little coffee cans that you can put your money in there if you want to buy any of the artwork. Also at the Volquillas Overlook, there were people that were selling things. I heard that was contraband, and that's actually illegal because you don't pay taxes on that. But
made a new friend down there.
We made a friend.
Yeah, his name is Vlad. Vlad, I think.
His wife worked at the restaurant, and he loved to say Feliz Navidad.
Yeah.
He's
a funny guy. Yeah.
The only English that he knew was $5, $10, $20, and Feliz Navidad.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it. But had a great time. We actually, probably one of my favorite moments on this trip was after we went to the Volquillas Overlook. They had a big parking area up there. We moved out of everybody's way. We backed up, and we opened our tailgates, and we fixed lunch right there on the Rio Grande River. And that was so cool to me.
That was so cool. The mountains right on the other side of the Rio Grande that are on the Mexico side, that little range that ran down through there is just amazing.
That was one of my favorite moments of the trip. I love that area. I'll do that again. We go down there because it was just a nice, peaceful place. You felt like you were in another world or in another country, actually, when you were there. So really enjoyed that. Enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed helping the locals out. I thought it was odd that 50 yards up the road was a port of entry where you had to have a passport to go into another country. And here we are 50 yards down the road at the Overlook, and right on the other side of the river was about 6 old Chevrolet pickups and people just walking back and forth across the river.
Yeah.
And they come up there to sell their stuff, and when they get done, they go back.
That's right.
So that really did not make sense to me, but that's the way it is. And hey, whatever we got to do to make this work.
That's right.
It was really neat. And like I said, I would do that all over again. I love that time that we had there. And we went there from to the hot springs, and that's where we finished our day.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you this. Would you go again?
Absolutely. I think we ought to go every year. There's so much of that place that we didn't get to see.
I agree. And we only got to spend, and we actually even did get to spend any time in the state park. We went on the highway, but so many people have told me that they enjoy the state park more than the national park because it's more remote. And Mo and Mariah told me that when you get into the state park, you feel like you're a million miles from anywhere. And I think that's cool. And I
Yeah.
can't wait to go back and do that. But
Yeah.
I believe this was a perfect time of the year to go. People get off around Christmas, and so I imagine that's why it was a little more crowded than normal. But
Right.
to be able to spend New Year's down there was pretty special to me.
Yeah.
Um, because we were spending it with people that we love
Yeah.
in a place that was just beautiful, and we actually did get to experience one of the things that I had looked so forward to down there, and that was the night sky.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, we would do our little binoculars with our fingers, and
Try to
it
cut out
was
some of the camp light.
yeah, and Tony would turn off there was a fire band down there, so we had the propane fire pit going at night because it did get down in the 50s, 40s at night, but he would turn it down and get rid of all the lights so we could see. But that's the first place that I've ever been that you could actually see the Milky Way. It was beautiful, and it was a dream come true for me because seeing stars like that is just something that I've always wanted to do, and
Yeah.
I've never been in a place. I've been to a remote Colorado on the top of a 12,000-foot mountain in the middle of the night, and you can see a lot of stars.
Right.
But this place, it was different. It was really different, and I would highly recommend that you download that app that Tony has on his phone. Tell us about the app about the stars.
Oh, it's just it's an app called Sky Map. So you download it and it's GPS driven, and then when you activate it, you can point it at the sky and you can turn on just the planets or the stars, the galaxies, and all that, and you can just isolate. So you're just seeing the planets, and you can go around. If you see a bright star, you look at it. It might be a star, or it might be a planet, and it'll tell you. It's really neat, but it's called Sky Map.
One other thing about going down there, and I don't know if it was the time of the year or if actually the place, but there was not a moon at all. The moon was actually on the other side of the earth.
The
Every time you brought out the sky map, you would say the moon's down there.
moon's down that way.
And I guess that's why it's so dark there, because you don't have that moonlight
Right.
like you do, back at home. So it
Yeah.
makes it where you can actually see more of the stars because it's so dark.
Yeah.
So
I think when we go next time, I'm gonna have a little better camera.
yeah, yeah. You had a rough time after Aaron took a picture of your vehicle that had all the stars in it. It seemed like you were out there for hours trying to get one like it. You just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I was close. I was anyway. I was using my phone, which is not really the best equipment for that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. I get it.
you live in
I
learn.
get it. Well, it was super awesome, and I had a great time with you and Arlen McKenna and Aaron and Carrie and the kids. It really couldn't have been much better.
Yeah.
Now I really do want to do some different things when we go down there. I was the only one that had a passport on this trip, so I'm hoping everybody gets one and we're able to experience Bukias next time. I really want to go into the state park. I really want to do the hike down through the Slot Canyon.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of things. It's you just can't do or see everything in one trip. It's impossible.
Right.
But I think everybody says that the best time to go is October to 1st of March, because other than that, it just gets way too hot. June and July are the rainy seasons, which I think that's odd to me. But you will cross dry bed after dry bed, even on the highway. You'll go across, and they don't even bother making bridges down there because it only rains like a month, and that's it. And so to imagine some of that stuff underwater would be completely weird.
Yeah.
But it was an awesome trip. I love it. There's so many people in Texas that said, well, I've lived here all my life. I've never been down there.
Right.
They're really missing out.
Yeah.
They're really missing out. And if you're looking for a place in the wintertime to escape the cold, to go where it's warm, put this on your list.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
And if you can't get a place in the park, I promise you these private places like Rob's at Coyote Crossing, they're just as good with just as good of a view as what you would get in the actual park. It's really, really good.
And a lot of aspects of it's better. I mean, it's peace of mind of the security of the private place where you can leave your stuff is pretty cool.
I agree. Well, man, what a great recap. I'm ready to go back just thinking about it.
I know.
Ready to go back just thinking about it. I loved it down there. The trip there and back is not something to look forward to, but once you're there, it's awesome. And so I would highly recommend that you put that on your list. Take a couple days to get down there. Don't kill yourself. There's nothing to look at, nothing worth looking at between here and there. And so just take your time and get down there. Once you get down there, I promise it'll be a trip of a lifetime.
That's right.
Well, from between Tony and myself, I appreciate everybody being on here tonight. This is an odd time for us being on here Monday. That's just the way the schedule worked out. But for us, we want to be on here at least once a week, and this is when we can do it. And I appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us, and we will be back next week, I promise.
Lots of big things happening. Tune in next week.
Lots of big things. We got a lot of things that we want to throw out there, a lot of announcements to make, and a lot of good things to come. I promise. It's going to get
Rob?
better.
Did you see Rob? He said, welcome back anytime.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Rob. Well, we definitely hope to come back. And I promise you, we will be back. So on behalf of myself and Tony, I hope you all have an amazing week. I hope everything goes your way. Make sure and bro pose every chance you get. Take care of yourself. Live the life you've always dreamed of. Look out for number 1 and don't step in number 2. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching.
BROfessor
and Friends.
Enjoy the BROfessor and Friends.
BROfessor and Friends.
BROfessor and Friends.
The BROfessor and Friends.